Hey there, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Looks like I've got a little bit of adjusting to do on the camera. I was just trying to get the lights just right. That's always a challenge getting that right where it needs to be. Okay, yeah, that's better. That's better right there. It's a dark picture. I put a lot of shadows in there. So I think that'll be easier to see right there. Now, who have we got here so far? We've already got people tuning in, and good to see you again, KKL. And we've got Felicia from um, Italy again. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back again. And Susan's back. And we've got a few new ones popping in. All right, we got the live chat coming to life here. Good morning from Val. Good morning. Thank you. And we've got Ariella from the Netherlands. Very cool. All right. From Boston, we have Isabel. Thanks for joining us. Rochester, New York. Mike, good to have you here. And we've got, let me turn my screen just a little bit here so I can see what we're doing. We've got Lisanne Schulten. Hi, Joe. Greetings from the Netherlands. All right, cool. Love your paintings. All right, thanks for tuning in. Keep losing track of the. All right, we got Florida, Georgia, Wisconsin, LA. Cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks for. I love it when you do that. I love it when you post where you're tuning in from. So exciting. Hello from Turkey. Says Yusuf. Hi, Joe from Cleveland. I'll send you the picture of my seascape for your advice through your Facebook message later today. My name is Raja. By the way, okay, Raja. 99 Treasures, it's Raja. The way, thanks. All right, cool. Oklahoma. And we have Pamela says good afternoon. All right, from Virginia. Oh man, I went to Richmond, Virginia. That was super cool. Awesome visit over to that state. Do you know, if you ever go to Richmond, Virginia, do you know there are murals all over that downtown area? It's crazy. I keep adjusting my screen there. Yeah, I went there, and the most interesting thing about Richmond, Virginia, was so many murals. But I found it strange the placement of them. We go into a Subway restaurant, just the sandwich shop, a Subway. And there's a mural of like a dead corpse with mushrooms growing out of it on the big front wall of the sandwich shop. I thought, well, it doesn't make me feel like eating, but the artwork was very skillfully done. Watched all your videos, says Tom Kearns, over the past few years. First live stream, beautiful work. Yeah, beautiful. All right, thanks a lot, Tom. I appreciate that. We're going to put a mermaid in here today, something different, something I don't normally do. I think it might be good if I'll leave it there. I'm looking at the brightness thinking, I'm such a perfectionist, trying to always micro adjust things. Ozone Park, New York. Joni from upstate New York, cool. Tom from UK, thanks for being here. Alina says hello from Alabama. All right, cool. I don't know what Kota Kombini Agi means, but that's Raphael. Raphael says that. Thanks for being here, Raphael. Hello from the other side, says Jessica Dantas. All right, cool. Good seeing you guys from Santa Rosa, California. VCU Art School is in Richmond. Oh, really? Oh, cool. Says Jim Cricket. Ciao dall'Italia, says Melina. Brigitte from Greenville, South Carolina. Cool. Thanks. Thanks for being here. All right. Hi, Joe. Your work always simply superb. Thank you so much. That's nice. From India. All right. Thanks. Thanks for tuning in all the way from India. Tecumseh, Michigan. Cool. That's neat. I went and saw a live play about Tecumseh. About the Tecumseh, I guess it was a person. I guess it was a native person, Tecumseh, I think, unless it was just a place. I remember we went on like a school field trip. I saw a live theater thing. It was a real big production. It was fun to watch. Beautiful British Columbia, Canada. Oh, that's where you are, Leanne, huh? British Columbia, cool. Okay, we're gonna get started here. And I'm just giving myself a little bit more slack. Keep pulling on this computer cord. I'm afraid I'm gonna send it flying. We don't want to do that. Hey Joe, how are you doing? I'm doing great. Fiddlesticks, good to see you. Good to see you too. Again, Mr. Tomato. Hello from Egypt, huh? Mr. Tomato from Egypt. I had no idea. Very cool. Hi again from Scotland. David Bell's back. All right, thanks. Okay, now I'm gonna warm up a little bit before I get into like a detailed mermaid thing. I'm just gonna do a few little tricks on this to adjust and kind of warm up. It's the details of something like a human form are a little bit intimidating. You know, as you all know, anybody that's tried to do that knows that it's on the difficult side. And so I like to just warm myself up, get creative, and see if I can just get my energy level up, doing stuff I'm confident about before I jump into that. So one thing I see is I love this background. I want to build it out more. I want to put more of that in there, and I want to separate the background from the foreground. You can see down here, I've got let me just move that camera down. I've got foreground coming down in here, and I've just used gray so far. I saw someone wondered what color I was using for foreground in one of my underwater videos. Usually when I have a blue like this, I just use gray, because gray, like we talked about in a previous video, gray takes on the opposite color of what it's against. So if you put gray on blue, it's gonna, the contrast, the gray to the blue, the gray is the more orange color of the two, the more yellow color of the two. And so then you see all the yellow orange color in the gray when it's on top of blue. And likewise, if you put the gray on top of an orange, then the gray looks very blue. Okay, so my point is all I've used so far is gray, so I can actually use some brighter colors in here now. Your imagination is amazing. I bet yours is too. You know, I just discovered some cool tricks to let me put it on a canvas. This will be good because I want to add figures to my next painting. All right, cool. Maybe I can show you a few tips on that. Is it just me, or is it a little dark? I'm glad you said that. Here, let's brighten it. It is a dark painting right now. It is, in fact, a dark painting. So when I put brighter colors on that, we're going to see more of it. Let's bump up the brightness just a little bit. We'll see a little bit more. It is very dark, lots of grays, dark blue, green. And so I'm thinking I'm going to use my smaller brush now. So same shape as my bigger brushes, and I get the cheap ones. I don't get the expensive ones. And so it just has that same angled cut to it. I've got my skinny line direction. I've got my wide line direction on it, and that's what I use for almost everything. You know, there's a lot of great brushes for other techniques. This is just my comfort zone. That's all. It's not that it's the superior brush to be using. So what I'm going to do is try to make this city, this little city I've got in the background, show up a little bit. Out from behind this shape, I want to separate them. So I'm thinking this city needs to come down here and look like it's far away. It's going to look bigger and more fantastical, you know, if I separate it from this foreground. So something that happens when I'm just throwing a scene together and all I use is just this gray. Well, sometimes the far distance merges with the foreground, and I don't have quite the same separation between foreground and background that I could have. And so what I'm going to do is try to do just some little tricks to separate it. Maybe we'll get a little more light right there too. Turn the switch, turn the light switch in the room. I've got my big box light going. So I need to just pile paint on here. It's a smaller brush, and it's easy to forget when you're using a smaller brush that lots of paint is the key to workability. You want to be able to work your painting. You know, it seems to be instinct to try to take paint off. You know, you get too much, you're like, oh, I've got too much on there. What am I going to do? And then you got to add paint to the mix, add what you want to see. Don't try to take away what you don't want to see. And it's just a better workflow for not losing control of the shapes you're trying to make. So in here, I'm just kind of making the same kind of obscured, impressionistic little highlights of structures coming up, maybe, you know, maybe at different heights. Who knows what a underground mermaid city would be like? Because it doesn't have to be a mermaid city, just something that the mermaid is going to be in front of. But I want to really add a lot of blue because it's far away. So I'm going to put lots of blue in there and then have a lot less when I get over to these foreground. And here I'm just bringing the shapes down under this little thing I made for a cliff. I like that shape, but I want it to be out in the front. You're going to see all my black and blue is going to get so much darker when this dries. I'll put some shadows in here, maybe put some sideways shapes. All I'm doing is just some little obscure shapes to look like some geometric form back in there. Going kind of 90 degrees, putting shapes this way. And if I keep them small, then it keeps my scale down. If I just watch out for big shapes. So, you know, a trick with getting good background and foreground separation is just watching the scale of the brush strokes. Let's put some more down in there. I'm going to put a little more blue right here where that black is. Put some more shadows in there, and then maybe a little bit of highlights will be cool too. And then when I come back to the foreground, I'll add color. I'll add non-blue color so that it really separates it, so that I get this far away and get the other things up close. So here where it's not as blue, I'm going to put some highlights, some shapes in here, just catching the light in the distance. As long as they're small. As long as they're small, it's going to be fine. Put a few things in there, going down. I'm just trying to keep the direction real consistent too. And I'm actually thinking it'd be fun to have like some like crystals up in here. I liked what someone said, you know, making like a crystal city. I'm going to put a magenta one up in there. So here's my magenta. I'll put some white. Here's how we make a crystal. We just make a dark front side like this, and then put the white on the edges. So this is going to look a lot more like a crystal if this is the colorful section, and if I have some straight lines like that here. Let's get a little more dark color. Put a magenta colored crystal in there. And then get a little bit of blue and white for the edges. Let's put some blue on this edge. We're going down this way. We're going to go down this way. And let's put a little bit of white on that blue. Like this. Then maybe some brighter magenta down in here. I think the appearance of just translucent things, you know, in general, is really just more about color than anything. Just seeing the right color. So look, if I just brighten this down here, and then I'll make it a little darker as it goes up. It's just like a, you know, a strategy for making translucency, where it glows with the color as it goes down. And that this magenta really darkens as it dries too. So having some awareness of what that's gonna dry down to is also helpful. I think it needs a little more blue up in here. Here, now it's shifting the hue, you know, shifting the hue from the violet to a little bit red or violet as it goes. And then I'll put like some little shapes going across here. I think it'd be cool if I had like a little bit of some kind of structure in there. You know, here, let's get rid of some excess paint down here. I've got blue and black, and I'm just going to put like a little thing. Maybe there's little statues up in here. I'm not doing any great detail. Don't worry about it. There's nothing to see here. I'm just putting some little dots going like that, and then I'm going to put some more lines going down here. Maybe some more lines here, like a building going out this way and then down again. I think I need like a different colored crystal in there. Let's do another green one. That'll be fun. I'm just going to do a few of these. You know, I'm just filling out the background with some fun little things. Let's do a green crystal. Like this, right behind that magenta crystal. Just a little trick with contrast, you know, opposite colors. We've got the turquoise and the magenta right next to each other. Green and magenta are opposite, you know, so we've got this greenish crystal right next to that one. And then maybe we put let's put some more distant city back there. I want to put it like going up on a hill far away. So I'll put blue and black. We can actually get a little bit closer there. Get a tiny bit closer. Bend this. Sorry. Okay, let's adjust the camera just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. And let's put some white. And now we've got more distant city in here. I'm just putting it up kind of on a hill. Little shapes. I just want little shapes. Go back here. As long as it's just a little bit darker than the water behind it, I'm going to see this city going up into the distance. And maybe I should put some little highlights on the tops of some of the buildings. Like this. A little bit up in here. That's a little bit bright, you know, I want to keep it real subtle. So I'm just going to touch these spots again, make them not quite as bright. I like the highlights, but I don't want them to distract. Got to make sure they're dark enough to go far away into that water. Let's put a little bit more back in there. Let's put a little more. Crystal City. We're going to be done here in a minute. A little more black, blue, white. Let's do lots of blue so it's far away. The more blue I add to it, the further away this is going to be. Let's go like this. Put that going up into here. You don't even see it right now, but I know because it looks like a color match now, it's going to dry a little bit darker. So watch in a few minutes, you're going to see these shapes just be a real subtle, far distant set of shapes here. You know, just a good trick when you want to make a slightly darker shade on something. Just match it. Just match the color. Not that matching is especially easy, but at least it gives you a visual guide. I'm going to put a little more black right in here just to see some of these shadows in there, a little more blue. And then maybe some white, just a little bit to lighten this up. I don't need it quite that dark. Blend these together a little bit. You know, so much about a painting is having the stage set. You know, you can make all kinds of really great looking things up close, detailed, but if there's a story, the background makes a story. And so even if the story is not told, it's just imagined. There may be a million different stories imagined by a million different viewers. Then the painting is worth looking at all of a sudden, if you have that story element to it. Let's go like this, put some more over in here. I'm just going to put some little shapes going up here and let my brush run out of paint as it's going up there to the, pointing to the surface like a high point, maybe a little palace on the, way up on the top of a hill there. Let's put some blue. It's real far away. Darken that color just enough to be seen. Right there. And then, look, we can brighten up this crystal a little bit too. We've got this is where it's fun to have that smaller brush because, you know, it's not all hammered with the other colors. So I can put an underside to this crystal here. Just put a few colors in there, and then I want to make this kind of upward facing. So let's put an edge that's kind of, you know, like we're looking a little bit up at this. Let's put an edge like so. Let's put like maybe some blue in here to make this bottom edge. Like this. Put a little bit here and just this slight curve on the bottom. There we go. Now we've got kind of an underside to that crystal right there. And then we'll come over here, maybe make a few little accents on the edge of it. Let's just go kind of like this and a little bit of black so it's not quite so vivid. Let's do some gray and just go right to the edge. Like that. Make a little bit on this one right here. There, now we got kind of a cool looking crystal there. And you know what that needs? It needs a little bit of, it's just kind of a meaningless diamond in the middle of the painting. It needs to look like it's a building. So let's put like a little perimeter around it. Let's be an architect for a moment. If I had a big diamond-shaped thingamajiggy that was really fun to look at, I would put a walkway around it. So I'm going to put some black, and I'm going to put some little fancy architectural statues going up like this. Like this, going around here. Put them closer together on the edge. Like that. Put a little bit of perspective in there. You know, just enough to make barely enough sense to not make the painting worse. You know, put a little bit of sensibility into the picture so that it feels relatable. You know, imagination is fun, but it crosses a point of relatability. You know, you got to always have relatability. So I have to have something in there that can cause me to look at it and say, "Oh, I want to go there. I want to do that. I want to see that." You know, just something that feels like it could be a human experience. That is, if your viewers are human. You know, let's put a little bit of a highlight on this going down, like right here. Put a little bit of an edge so we can see that building right in there. I'm just softening that. I don't want pure white. I want it to be a little bit softer, further away. Okay, so now I've made some tiny shapes, some tiny little details so that this feels more distant. And do you know your wall murals? That's a good question. Not usually, but sometimes I do. It just depends on the customer. And so I think it's a good idea. It'll buy you some time, but you know, I'm just like, I'll just touch it up when it gets destroyed. It's going to get destroyed regardless. If I seal it, if I don't seal it, the weather's going to destroy it. Inside, totally up to the customer how much abuse it's going to take. So I let them decide. The paint is real durable. You know, this paint, super hard paint. It's good. I could put a pressure washer in this. It'd probably be fine. But you know, if people want to avoid having stains and things, I use a water-based polyurethane, just any kind of water-based polyurethane. So now I'm just building out this foreground a little bit more, and I'm going to go less blue on it. So I'll still put some blue because I want this a little further away. So let's make sure we mix some blue. And do you see that highlight I put on top? That's because I want to see separation here. I want to see separation between a foreground object and a background object. I don't like how they look too close together. So I'm trying to strategically separate them so that I have my foreground and my background with a lot of distance in between. So let's put a real dark shadow right here. That's going to pop this forward. And actually, that wasn't the best thing to do, to put all that black on this, because you know, a little thing like that can suddenly make an object pop forward. So let's go in here and put some blue and white on that to make sure that this thing stays in the background. We're going to go like this, make sure that stays back there. What would you call a building like this? It's a power plant, maybe. It's got crystal energy for all. Okay, I'm just lightening some of these dark shapes that I put back in here. There, more distance. I don't want that to be too close. Now when I come in here, put all this black, get a nice dark black and blue shape. And now this shape hopefully comes forward like that. Yeah, I like that better. Close, it's close. And then I've got this embankment coming down, and it's on a separate plane now. So this is going to come down in front of this. Put some black in there, get a nice dark layer to bring this forward. I'm just putting a light edge on it, just a little edge. Then I'm going to put lots of black and blue in there. Let's put more of that blue and kind of bring that black up to the edge. It's like scribbling with a brush, you know. I just am so accustomed to going all kinds of different directions real rapidly that I do it. It's second nature to me now, but I do understand that this doesn't come as naturally for all. something we work on a lot in workshops is trying to randomize the brush strokes and get all the different directions to create interesting shapes so that I don't have to manually think my way through everything. It's nice if the brush and the technique does a lot of work for me, you know. Okay, over here, I can create more distance too. I've got this cool looking, domey looking thing right here. I want to make it a little bit higher. Just move that, scoot that up a little bit. Let's put a little bit of a highlight on it with some blue. What I'm going to do with this shape is make it a little more visible first. Let's put green here. And then I'm just going to layers of maybe this background here just has one layer and it's similar in value. And so after I highlight this a little bit, want that to show up. Something we talked about in the last video is how to get things to look translucent for those that are watching for the first time. And so I shift the hue toward yellow. Anytime I'm brightening a color, then I want light to be coming out of it, and that's what gets this translucent effect. Taking a blue, shifting it toward yellow by making it greener creates that effect. So now I'm going to make layers of things in front of this with tiny shapes, and then that'll put a lot of background in between me and this thing. So let's put a little bit of white, black, and blue, just like the rest of our distant shapes. Let's put white, black, and blue and create a layer of little trees coming up in front of this, plants, whatever they are. And I use the white so it's not too dark, so that when I move into the foreground, I can see a difference between the distance. So here maybe I'll put a little bit of white for some ground in at the base of this, and then I'll go for another layer, because this is what's going to really create distance for me, is layers. So let's put another layer now. Some more black and blue and a little bit of white. Like this, put another layer in front of this one. Like that. Let's get some blue. And I'll let that light stripe show in some areas. Other areas I'll cover it up. Maybe we'll put like a tall tree way over by this building looking thing. I'm going to mix a blue, white, black color and go like this. Put a shape in here that we normally would expect to be big, and put it right here small so that it creates, you know, some kind of an underwater tree. And, you know, like try to make it look like a tree. I don't know what an underwater tree looks like. Maybe it's just a city that used to be above ground. Maybe that's what's going on here. And, you know, just having a shape that looks like it would be big if I was close, maybe will help create some more distance. And then I've got these layers scrunched in perspective. And let's put a couple more little light spots of layers coming forward, just real scrunched shapes going this way. And I'm just trying to create a plane of distance that goes back to that distant city. Let's get our black and blue. Start creating some bigger foreground shapes with the darker color. Like that. And then keep these back lines real, you know, a lot of real scrunchy little level lines. I feel like this building needs to tilt a little more this way for perspective. Like that. All right. So I've got a little more distance in there. I've got this, I've got better context to create distance. And, you know, I still want to have like the feel of an underground forest. I think that's like a super cool idea. And so I'm not going to go too in depth with that, but I was thinking tree trunks coming up from here. And here I'll put more of my distant treetops behind. So lots of blue in there, a little bit of white. And let's go a little bit more white. And I'm just going to create my distant hills that are behind this foreground of darker trees. So I come down in here, paint between the trees. I destroyed a couple of them. I didn't want to destroy them, but I need this background in here. So we're putting just a little bit of a tree line. So, you know, if you get something really cool in a painting is that if you just get the color to show depth, then you're just loading it up with so much information when you move along the horizon and create, you know, little things like this. You're not just creating a 2D shape now, up and down, side to side. You're creating depth, and so it adds all of this information. It feels like a lot more detail because of that. All right, then we got our foreground trees coming out in front of it, so we can kind of replace a couple of these darker shapes. Who knows what an underwater tree looks like, so we can just be creative with some shapes going up like this. As long as we've just got shapes in front of shapes that are kind of going vertically, I think we'll have a underwater foresty looking scene here. And then I want to put like big tree trunks coming down here like this. We'll just do one real quick, and then it's mermaid. I'll go to a few comments before we start in on that mermaid. So let's go like this. And why don't we just scoot this camera over just a bit so you can see. Don't want to get too much glare. I've got this camera up on top of a skateboard deck. Might jiggle for a moment while it's stabilizing, sorry. And so down in here, I'm thinking that I'm going to put some deep blue shapes. Like maybe we've got a big tree trunk looking thing going right up, way up here out of the shadows. Let's be like Bob Ross for a moment and just put a big old thing going right up through here like this, like that. Put a big old shape, some kind of a cool underwater plant going way up like this. We'll mess with the shape a little more after we see it in place. Put a line going up that way, and then we can create some atmosphere in between those. I should get a bigger brush so I can cruise through it a little quicker. Big shapes equals big brush. And I'm thinking that we make like a fog behind it. I was deciding, should we go lighter behind or darker behind? I'm thinking we go lighter behind. So blue and white to create atmosphere in between some shapes going up like this. And I got to remember my perspective. I got to remember how it's all going up to this top. So look at the slope on this tree. I'm a little bit less than ideal on that slope, but from the camera angle, it looks pretty good because of the lens distortion. But me looking at it square, I want to tilt the tree just a little bit more. So let's put black in here. Let's put another tree stump right here. It just looks like there could be one, doesn't it? Let's say there's a tree stump. Let's grab some of this lighter color like this and get darker and bluer as we go up here. Atmosphere is, I think, the biggest cause for the perception of depth in a painting. I think is mostly caused with atmosphere. Everything else is just bonus. You know, you cause it with atmosphere and then use shape and color to tell the same story and enhance it. But I think it all begins with a good job on atmosphere. So I'm trying to create atmosphere right now, going down into a deep kind of canyon or something, going way down here like this. Make a little bit of a foggy atmosphere where these are going down into it. Let's use more black. There, now we've got some shapes like in front of those other shapes. This is going to darken when it dries. That's wet paint, so it looks lighter, but it's going to get darker. I got to remember that. Got to always remember that. Let's make a few shapes coming out of it, like this. That'll be kind of fun. It's kind of graveyardy at the moment like that, isn't it? All right, I'm going to mess with that later after I get my other things in place, because I feel like I need some more, you know, visual to decide where I want to go with that. Whether I want to make a darker, deeper canyon down here, if I want to keep that misty look. Look at this though, this is fun. Let's add just a little bit of color now to the foreground. So to really get this to pop forward now, this is where I can start adding. Let's come back over here. Let me angle it down just a little bit so you can see the bottom of that. Go like this. Sorry, I got the paintbrush in my mouth. Right here, sorry. I need like a real good swivel. I need like a real good swivel. That's what I was trying to say with the paintbrush in my mouth. The cord keeps moving it, sorry. There we go. Okay, so down here, I'm going to put some orange. I want to really start making this ground pop out in the foreground. And this color is just going to be like a black color now that this stage is set. So let's put some orange in here. That is I just shortcutted with the orange to this maroon color, rust. It's the color of rust, you know, pigment, maybe called red oxide. Other places they call it maroon at the paint store, but it's like a dark, pre-mixed dark orange. And I can use that to create some brighter colors in here. Actually, I think it'd be cool just to build like a lot of colorful reefs. So in other places in here, I think I'm going to do some other colors as well. So let's just have some fun blasting this with a few different colors. So I think some green would be cool in here as well. Let's put like some foreground green, real bright. Put some white on it. And if I just go in layers like this, then I'll get a little bit of layers. I meant lines. Layers in perspective, you know, like there's little bumps in front of bumps. If I just do the brush strokes like this, maybe I get some cool shapes. Let's put a few shadows in there, some blue, some black, and load this up with a few of those. So right now, I'm just trying to use color tricks. Ooh, that color doesn't look, hang on, let me show you what this actually looks like. I'm adjusting the color on the camera right now because that doesn't look right. Let's see what that looks like. We need more saturation. Hang on. Let's put this Let's put this color way up here. It's going to make my face look weird, I think, if I do this. That's better. I'm putting bright colors on right now. The screaming dude will die. Yes, I did see that. I looked up there in the corner of the painting. Somebody found a screaming creature in the top corner of the painting. You know what it reminds me of is those the Bigfoot videos, you know. All kinds of videos on YouTube of Bigfoot sightings. I actually believe in Bigfoot. I think it's out there. But the videos are over the top ridiculous a lot of the time, you know. You've got, you know, imagination running wild with photography of a still forest. I saw something. I better be careful. I know there's believers out there watching right now. Okay, I'm making bright green. I'm going to put shapes coming off of this. I'm going to put shadows. I'm going to put shadows that are going like this. Maybe we've got like crevices that you can see where flat shapes come out off of it. I was looking at pictures of coral reefs. Man, there is just amazing stuff out there, you know. Let's put some more of that green color and yellow in here. Put some highlights on these shadows I just made. Like maybe their shapes kind of coming off of this. Coming off of there, and if I just make a little bit of a gradient under there, it'll kind of swoop it under like it has a bottom edge. Going back into the shadow like that. And make some interesting shapes. Let's put some bright orange right here in the foreground. Throw some white on that to brighten it up. Make little dots. It's getting dirty as I mix it because I've got all these other colors in my brush. But for now, I'm just laying out bright colors to give my imagination something to run with. You know, I just want to see bright colors. Like we've got some kind of a coral reef down here. And I want to put shadows in that again. So let's take blue. Wherever I have these redder areas, I think is going to be a good spot to put little shadows coming out of there. I'll put some red right above that blue and blend it upward. Kind of a fun little combo of colors, that red and blue. There, now we've got kind of three-dimensional shapes there. Let's put a few more colors going back. Maybe some magenta would be cool, huh? Let's put a magenta thing. Let's put black at the base of it, like this, and then put magenta going. Who knows what this is? Put a little bit of white in there. Highlight just the colored areas. If you just highlight the areas where the color is, this is why I love mixing right to the canvas. It leaves me all of these different colors right on the canvas to add other colors too, you know. And then I just got to be quick enough to put it in place. Look, I get a real quick impression of some different kinds of shapes. I think it just occurred to me while I was looking at pictures of coral reefs that there's no sense in trying to remember how to paint all the different kinds of coral. You just make crazy colors and shapes. It's going to look fantastic. At least that's how it is for me. All right, so now look, this kind of made a valley. This is fun. Made a valley right here. Let's run with that and put some yellow and green. Make this similar in color to this up here. So now we've got a little bit of form to the land that's there. So all I need to do to all these colors is just make them get bluer as they go further away. So I'm adding that blue, and maybe I'll add, you know, it's getting buried back in this atmosphere. So these highlights are going to not be as bright. So I've got these highlights, and I'm going to try to merge these into into the highlights that are in here. So these are greener, these are bluer. I'm just going to start bringing them together a little bit so it looks like we're gradually getting further away as we approach this black rock in the back right here. So all these darker, bluer, blacker, grayer colors. If I just gradually move to those and setting myself up for, you know, seeing things is real important to me. I'm just trying to set myself up with imagery. Man, I'm already starting to imagine all kinds of new little shapes, but I'm going to save that for next week because we have got to put a mermaid in here. We have got to get to that. So I'm going to move this up here to a higher point. We're going to look right up in here, and I am much happier with the layout of this now, as it looks a lot more like a distant city. Sorry, I'm adjusting the camera. I want to have a good view of what I'm going to paint right up in here. I'm going to put a mermaid kind of swimming down from the top. Yeah, right up in there. Okay, now I'm going to read a few comments before I paint the mermaid right up in here. How would a regular tree get down there? Well, if it used to be above water and then got buried and it's just leftovers, you know, or if it's just that kind of a tree. The crystals make the trees. Hi, I'm late. Well, I'm glad you could join, Jesse. You made it in time for the mermaid. It's fantasy, guys. I feel like all of my in-depth explanations kind of foster a literal attitude about things, you know, but it is good to break away and say, hey, we're being creative here. Missing the cave you just did I cover a cave? Oh, there was a cave down in there. Yeah. All right. We'll bring it back. I need the color in the foreground. You know, I build out the grays, I make shapes, whatever stands out to me, then I throw the color on there and build it out. Things get lost in the process. Maybe the tree crossed the mafia and got concrete over shoes. That is a creative theory right there. You rock. Love your stuff, Joe. Keep them coming. Thank you very much, Forrest. The green made it pop so much, made the dome pop. So, oh yeah, thanks. It did. Coming back with a clean brush, you know, I work real rough, dirty brush. All the colors are mixing together. So you can see it's real valuable to come back with a clean brush and see where you want to add those highlight colors after that. All right, I'm going to move on, and we're going to put a mermaid, I think, floating right down in here. And I know that people asked about bubbles. Okay, people asked about bubbles. I'm going to put bubbles in. But I just got to tell you, something really bothers me about the idea of putting like a thing stuck inside of a bubble. Is that is just so impossible. You know, this when you're inside of a bubble, it's just walls of water all around, rapidly moving. It'd be like being inside of nothing but waterfalls with a whirlpool at the bottom, because that bubbles go, and water just has surface tension the air doesn't have. You would get sucked out of the bubble. And so, you know, it just bothers me seeing things get stuck inside of water bubbles underwater. I'm sorry for being overly literal about the possibility of that. But it would be fun to put something kind of getting stored. We'll just say it's like behind a bubble. We'll do that. We'll do that in the future. But I got to do a mermaid because I said we were going to. So I'm going to throw my big brush in water. And I'm still unsure about the colors to use on this mermaid. Let's start with something I like to use for skin tone. And let's put, I sketched this out ahead of time. Last night I was sketching out, what kind of a mermaid, what position? If I can find that paper, I'll show you my sketch, my drawing. And so I'm thinking I want to put it like right in here. maybe like right here. I don't want to lose these crystals right here, so I want to put it down in here. So remember, I talked last time about composition. I try to make more room on the painting for what it's about. So if it's about where the mermaid is going, I want to leave room where it's going. And I want this to be about the mermaid coming and exploring what's down in here, what's down in here. So I got to make sure I leave room right there. So I'm putting the mermaid up higher. Okay, so I'm going to go right here. And we're going to put some black. I'm just going to start out with a grayish color. So black and white on here. And this is going to be a belly right there. And let's put a little bit of lighter color where we're going to have ribs. So this is going to be plenty colorful for underwater skin tone, I think. So we're going to have ribs coming across here. 1, 2, that's a rib cage. And then right here is a belly under the rib cage. Right here is hips coming around right there. And there's this natural concave that happens right here along a person's. You wouldn't believe how much I've looked in the mirror studying my own anatomy in order to understand this better. Of course, that's not as helpful when you're trying to learn female form, but the same parts are there. Okay, so we've got the shadow under the ribs. We've got a little highlight for belly. I'm going to put a distant hip right there on the other side. And then we're going to go in here and put the shoulder right here. And I'm going to put a buff shoulder on this character. So let's go right up in here and put more of my color, more of my black, and build out a shoulder that's like this. Comes off here. And then the neck is going to go up right here, like that. And then the highlight on the shoulder I can put right here. Look, a little bit of a highlight going back. And then let's put a little bit of a highlight on the top side too. Right up across the back of the ribs. Maybe we go back here like this, put a little bit of white on this. So this is the top side of the ribs, going right up in there. So you kind of see it starting to bend and take shape. This is the top of the hip coming down, and I've got to turn that into fishtail right there. Here's a shoulder, and that shoulder would have a shadow under it, like this, where it comes across these muscles. This would be the armpit going down like that, and I need a little bit of black to show that's facing downward. And we'll use a little bit of, might be cool to use a little bit of blue in there to create kind of a backlight effect. Put a little blue right there, right here. Gray out that color a little bit. Okay, so then breasts are going to be right here, like this. And we're going to put them right in here with the darker color, and I'm thinking that there's going to be like a green colored. I'm not going to put naked boobs on this picture. I'm not going to do that. But it is very helpful to understand how all these curves are in place, so that you can shadow. Okay. So this is where the breasts are, right in here, and then I've got the ribs under there. And then I'm going to put a green kind of, I'm going to put a green like suit over it. swimsuit. I don't know. I don't really feel like it's a bikini, you know, because I'm going to put it like going like this. I don't like when there's shells. I don't want my mermaid to have shells on the boobs because that just doesn't seem sufficient for aerodynamics and cruising through water. I don't want shell. So I want something more form-fitting like a superhero. So I'm going to go like this and go up and over the shoulder with it. So let's go a little bit darker like this. And then come over here, darker with this one. And then I'm going to go up and over the shoulders. You know, some kind of a suit. I think will be better. And then let's put some white for a little bit of highlight so that we can see the three-dimensional shape here. Right there, right here. Okay, now I'm going to put a head on this character. So I've got my shoulder here. I'm just thinking it through, and I'm going to use something to mix on now because I run out of space, and when I'm doing smaller work, it actually is hard to just mix right on the canvas. So head, I'm going to put right in here, like this. And let's go a little bit lighter for some skin tone, like this. Wouldn't it be good if you were a little bit closer? Wouldn't that be good if we got a little bit closer for the details? I wonder if that's possible. I just don't want to destroy something trying. You know, I'm a little bit concerned. I think we're going to have to live with that closeness for this one. Okay. I was thinking about what I can do, but I was too close to catastrophe and the other. So we'll go easy on the detail so that you don't have to miss anything. So we're going to go head right here. And I'm going to put the head like here maybe. I just got to get the chin in place. I've got her going to the right, so maybe right in there is the head. Yeah, now let's widen it out a little bit. Let's widen it a little. Put this color on here. This is just my go-to skin tone base, brown. All right, and then watch, this is fun. Look how fast you can do a face. I love doing this. A face is just two eyes right here across the middle. Okay, so we just do a little dot, a little dot. I'm going to use black. Little dot here, a little dot here. And then I can put a little line on the top of each eye. I'm just using the very tip of this brush. Leave this one just kind of a pointed shape going this way. Put a shadow for a nose halfway to the chin. Put a shadow for the mouth a little above the halfway point. And we've immediately got a face laid out. So then it's just putting details like, hey, I want redder lips on it. So let's grab some red and turn this shadow right here into more red colored lips. And then let's put another shadow under there, right under here. This is the shadow between the chin and the bottom lip. So we put that little dot. Okay. I actually feel like we do need to be closer on this. I'm going to see if I can manage this, all right? We're going to do something a little crazy, try to get closer for the details on this. I'm moving my very precarious tripod, and I'm just going to set this. I'm just going to set this to the side for the moment. I'm going to put it down here. Oh yeah, good view of the painting. Sorry guys, give me a minute. Give me a minute to adjust because I want to make it closer to see this. Something I didn't think of at the beginning. Put this right here. Oh yeah, this is going to work. And let's get a box. Put it up there. Okay, we're closer. Ah, don't touch. Okay, now we can see a little bit better. Okay, I can see where he's going again, I think. Yes. All right, cool. Okay, now I was showing how you can just do these simple highlights. So now let's take a little bit of white. Take a little bit of white and red, some kind of red, you know, maybe this one. It's underwater, so I don't want real bright colors, real bright. So let's go like this and put this bottom lip in now. Dunk. So I was under the impression for some time that making a good looking face had to do with the, you know, how you manage all the tiny details. That's only if you actually put those details in and force people to look at them. A face is accomplished very quickly with some key shadows. And so that's all I'm doing now is just putting those key shadows in place. We're going to put a highlight on the nose right here. Going this way, we'll put a highlight on the top of the head, and then we'll naturally get a brow if we just leave the dark between the eye and the forehead here. We'll put a cheek highlight right there, and we'll leave a shadow under the eye. Under each eye, we'll just leave a little shadow here. I'll borrow some of this black and go chunk, chunk. Put a little shadow under each eye. And now I'm going to put a neck in place. Let's go like this. Put a neck going down right here like that. And we better put some shadow under that neck so that it looks more three-dimensional. So let's grab some black. Go like this. The neck goes right down to there. And then the other shoulder needs to come out. Put a little more color. Put a little more color on this neck. Color in the shadows, very important thing, you know. So much is perceived about something by the color of the shadows. Now I'm going to take that lighter color and watch this. I'll put some detail on the collarbones and the chest like this. Just understanding the way that all comes together is a real helpful thing. This is what I've been doing with my time at home, is learning human anatomy. Okay. My daughter came in to tell me something, and I said, wait, stop right there, turn around, I need to see your t-shirt. Showing the wrinkles of the shirt in the back. Okay, so here we have the two collarbones coming down. Let's put a little highlight right there in the middle of it, and then put a little more light coming down the middle of the chest. Just a slight shadow under those collarbones. Then I'm going to take this darker color on the neck and go like this and separate those two lines that are kind of going up to the side there. These are the collarbones. And so then we've got highlights on the shoulders, and I got to do this shoulder right here. So let's put that shoulder right in here. Put a little bit of a shadow under there like this, and now the shoulders are kind of raised up. I feel like that's a little more of a like an action position, you know? And I want this to feel like there's a lot of movement happening. So now the arm, I'm going to go like this with this same color. I'm going to take the black rust color and just make an arm in perspective. So look, it's just a short upper arm that comes right down here and then under here for the shoulder. I might want to cut off some of that shoulder at the top and maybe put it down just a little bit, or I could angle this upper arm up. But I want to do some foreshortening now. And I wanted to have like a real buff arm. So I'm going to do it like that. Maybe we'll put the back a little bit higher since this is kind of coming forward. Let's go like this. You know, human form is very much about managing the very slight curves that are all over a body. And so, you know, they feel when you're accomplishing them mechanically, it can feel like you're not doing anything, tiny little adjustments, but visually, the entire form seems to be made of these exact things. So blue light on brownish color is going to make a gray. So I'm adding white to black over here to make this highlight on the shoulder muscle. And then I'm going to come in here and put the arm going back like this. Let's do this maroon and black and put the forearm going back now. So I'm going to go like this and like this. And then I'm going to put another little highlight across the top of that. There we go. Now we got a good toned arm, you know. Let's put some blue. I want to put some blue lights on the underside. So let's take this blue and go right here like this, and then go across here. Just a bluer color for that underside right there. Anything that's an underside. So for that matter, I could go right here and do the shadow on the ribs. I could do the underside of these boobs right here. Let's take some blue and go like this. Some blue, go right here. Just edge lighting to make a more three-dimensional form. We can go here, and then we can go right here, make this concave area under the ribs, make this light on the belly right there, come down right here. So everything facing down gets that blue light for, you know, something that blends into the environment better. Okay, let's put this little divide right here, right across the middle of the belly. There's abs on a belly, you know. There we go. Put a line down there. And then I can, that other arm, I think I'm going to put it out here in front. I'm going to put the other arm coming out like this. So when the shoulder goes up, man, it really goes up. So we're going to hug it right against the head right there. And then I'm going to put the hand, I'm going to give her a big old long hand, because she's got to have like some cool webbed fingers. I'll put it going way back there like this. Let's see. If it's going back, I want the hand to be like, yeah, I guess the thumb would kind of go down right here. And I'm going to make like mega long fingers. Like that. And then we're going to do the same thing here. There we go. Because they're going to be webbed. I'm going to put webbed fingers on it. Let's put a web right here between the thumb and that finger. Let's put a web right here, put a web right here. There we go. Nice long finger, still enough to look humanish, you know? This is everything I think a mermaid should be. You know, if you're going to live underwater, I think you just need to be a little more tailored for doing that all the time. It would help to add a fishtail on it too. I'm just putting the shadows of the fingers going across here like this. Maybe this finger kind of comes down behind. Put a little bit of a natural bend on the fingers. We'll have to work on that. Right there. Yeah. Okay, now, my hand looks fun. I'm going to put the tail. Let's put, we did green on the front. Let's do green going back. Let's go like this. Boom. Boom, like this. I always felt a little bit weird looking at sexy mermaids. You know, if someone makes a mermaid really sexy, it's like, oh, I don't want something with the fishtail stirring those feelings in me. That's, it's weird. But nevertheless, people really like them. So we're painting one. Okay, we're going to do this. And we're going to bring this tail right in here, right across this area. And this is where I'm going to put the highlights for the top side, coming around here. Like this. And then they got to go back along here. Like that. And then we got to put the darker color under. So let's go here and bend this tail down behind the hand, down this way. Right there. And then I want to put a swoop on the end of the tail like this. Like that, because I want to make this tail. Here, let's blend these. Let's get some of that color that I used for the skin. Put it in there, blend the two together. And then we'll make like a believable transition here from the skin to the green. Like that. Then I got to get more of that white because I lost my highlight in that color blending. So we'll put the white in here, reflecting off of the back that's bending up behind right here. There we go. Now we've got the back behind the mermaid, and let's go in here and put a tail. So I think a good tail needs to have like the light shining through it. Let's do this. Let's put more yellow on the tail. We'll do green. What color should the tail be? I don't know what color the tail should be, really. Maybe like, we'll start with green, but I feel like I want to fade it to a different color. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to make like a double tail. Here's one side, and I'm going to do the other side right here. Like that. And make it really bending, because then it'll look like it's swimming. You know, it's bending down like that. And let's put a little bit of light shining through. So I think it would be just too greeny weeny looking if I put just yellow on there. Let's put some of this Let's put some of this on here. Fade to yellow. Okay, yellow. We're going to do yellow. But in order to not have it look as green, I'm going to put this orange on first. So we're going to change the color. I always think of things color first, then lightness, then adding the effect. So I'm just getting the color I want. Now I'm going to add the yellow. And yellow will be good because we can make the light popping right through this tail now. Just put yellow right in here. And we can put a little bit of white to lighten it. Let's do a little more yellow, and I want to go more red to make it more orange. So red and yellow, we're going to have kind of a, that was a good idea, fade to yellow. But look how in order to make it really look like it fades to yellow, look at all the red I need to put in there. The red really helps that effect of the light, you know, of this glow. No, I don't think so. That's probably false what I just said. I think really it's just the color that I'm looking for. I want a little more orangey glow to it. I'm going to go all the way to the ends with that brighter color. So let's just take pure yellow and just go dunk, dunk, dunk. Make some real bright light coming through that. This will be a fun little highlight. Dunk, dunk. Put a little color right in there. Now we got the, whoops, sorry, I kicked the camera. And then it's coming right up, getting darker as it goes up and around like that. And now we just need a little bit of edge lighting to kind of sell it a little better. Let's put, you know, sell it, meaning to be convincing, to have the picture look more convincing. I'm going to put green, and then I'm going to mix like a blue-gray color. Let's put blue, and let's put white on there, and let's put that edge light right here. Like that. And then let's put a darker one on the underside. So let's get darker and bluer for the underside right here. Right there, put a little bit of a edge light. You know, you can really put like any color on there to get that effect. You know, it's really just a matter of having the color changing really close together along an edge that creates a natural pattern that we're used to seeing of the perspective of it turning and catching different colored lights as it turns different directions. Let's go like this, and now let's put like some, well, we need another arm, and then we need some hair. We're going over on time, but this is a lot of fun painting a, looks like a weird human figure looking at the mermaid on a fence to the right of the tree. Yes, that has been commented on. Yeah. Man, I don't want that in there. That's got to go. I don't want that. Okay. Let's put the maroon and the black, and now we're going to make an arm coming forward. So we got black, maroon. We're going to go like this. Add a little bit of white, and then the bicep comes right out from under, like this, right out from under this muscle. It goes up. Wait, let me think about this. We go up this way. Then we've got a bicep that goes like this. Then this goes under right here. So we need a darker shadow right between these two things, right there. That's where we need the darker shadow. right across the underside of this shoulder, going up and over that arm. Let's really bring it out like this. And then let's put like a little tiny bit of a highlight on that shoulder to show like a three-dimensional form to it. It comes out here and curves. It kind of curves over the collarbone right there. And we have the bicep muscle coming forward right here. Let's just darken the middle a little bit. And I'm probably going to want to maybe shave off a little bit of this underside. I'm going to take more of my dark color. I like to start dark and lighten it when I'm really concentrating hard and trying to get a good shape. I'll usually do it in this order. Okay, now let's put an arm coming forward right here. Now we've got kind of some foreshortening there. And then let's take some black and white again. Black and white, and then we're going to go right here, put a little bit of highlight on that part of the arm. Then we're going to take a little bit and put it on the underside of the arm as well. There we go. Get a little bit of a three-dimensional form to that arm. And then let's bring this all the way around like this so you can see that forearm coming out in front of it. Then we just need some shadow, some darker shadow right up here in the armpit. We want that to go back and under right there. Yeah, okay. Got an arm coming forward, and let's put a hand. So I'm going to do the hand kind of like we did that tail. I'm going to do a hand going like this. I want to make it like she's reaching out for something. Thumb, and then let's go finger, 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 like that. And then I'm going to web the fingers a little bit. Let's use some yellow to shift the hue, like this. And we're going to put some light right there. You know, I will try to give her a little bit more attractive fingers. Maybe not like pointy claw fingers. Not the vibe I'm going for. But I think webbed fingers is a must-have if you live underwater. Whoa, sorry, kicked the camera. My bad. Webbed fingers right there. Put a little bit of light popping through. And then we just got to adjust the shapes a little bit. No big deal. We'll take this darker color, and I'm going to put a little bit fatter fingers right here. A little bit fatter, not so pointy. And then we'll make them come down in here and connect to the rest of the hand like this. I'm going to put a slight bend on them. This is going to be a little bit tricky. Trying to get a semi-graceful form to a hand while making it very big and froggy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that one off. Yeah, that's not too bad though. I'll have to pull out the smaller brush to tidy up the edges on that one. Now I'm gonna put some hair going back. And I think mermaid hair should not be like free flowing. I just imagine everything that'll happen with that hair if you're like swimming through water. This is why underwater creatures aren't filled with human hair. No, she needs dreads. So we're going to go like this. Go like this and go. Like that. Add some black. Kind of gets little colored streaks in there. We're going to go out around the head and back like that. Maybe a little bit along the back. Right there, we need to go behind the head. So let's go in here, put some there. And let's get a little bit more and go like this. Other side. Like this. There we go. Yes, I like that. Let's put some black. You know, I used to have dreadlocks. Do you know that? If you look at, I think I might have stuff online still that shows it. Big head of dreads. I tie it back with the bandana. Grew out of it. It was messy. If I had hair like black people do with the real tight curls, it would have been easier to maintain. It looks a lot nicer when you have those tight curls to maintain. I always wished I had that, but it got all frizzy and nappy. I had to cut it off. I got a good video of me cutting off my dreadlocks forever. Okay, I'm going to move this back a little bit, and see, it's going to shake a little bit when I scoot this. I'm going to scoot this tripod back. Let's go right here and hang on. We're going to get a better view of this thing. Here's our product so far, right there. We've got our mermaid swimming down. And so I'm going to look at the live chat and see if there's any questions, comments, anything I can answer before we shut down the live stream. Let's go a little bit closer here. There we go. Okay, so we've got those fingers though. Go with pretty braid. Yeah, a braid would be fun. I think that'd be cool. Much more aerodynamic, a braid. Amazing how he brings in the depth. Oh, thank you very much. You know, they're just tricks. Yeah, it's like pulling an old trick out of your back pocket. Once you know, you never have to go back to not knowing. I believe you, Joe. Thanks. What is the size of your canvas? It's about 3 feet by 4 feet. About 3 tall by 4 wide. I'm just holding it up with these construction clamps to hold it in place. I'm just going to roll it up, store it somewhere when it's done. Looks like she is losing her hair with it so scanty. All right. I've yet to see a mer Sasquatch undersea. You are wonderful. Thank you, Magdalena. Thank you very much. We're all in a silly mood today, but we really enjoy the painting, learned so much. Hey, thanks a lot. No, man, the silly mood's good. Come on, we can't be taking this stuff seriously. How do you combine colors and don't smudge anything? Well, it is fast drying paint, you know, and so I just I'm just careful, you know. I combine the colors, but I'm just understanding what's in my brush. Is it okay if it's my mix? If I need a clean brush, I'll wash it out. I'm just accurate with where I'm mixing, where I'm not. I'm always identifying the edges of everything. Does the paint crack at all when you roll the canvas? No, not with this. Maybe after a lot of years it would. now. We've got a lot streaming in fast. Let me scroll up a little bit. We've got hi from Santa Cruz, California. Our beaches are shutting down tomorrow. Oh man, that's such a bummer. It feels so wrong when beautiful summertime is coming, man. How do you combine colors and don't smudge anything? We read that one. Any reference photos that you are using? No, just a lot of hours of studying the content, just lots of studying. So working from memory after much studying many photos. Can the next painting be an owl with snow? I feel the texture would be a great video to show. Your videos are really great tip I use for painting. Well, we'll do snow. I don't think I want to do an owl. And nothing against owls. That just doesn't sound fun. No, it would be fun. I guess it'd be awesome. I guess it could be awesome. Owls are an awesome creature. I got other things that I want to do though. Can the next painting? Oh, I just read that. My bad. All this fish is making me hungry. Tea time. All right. Thanks. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here for saying that. Can you show us your preliminary sketch? Hey, that's a good idea. No, let me get it over here. It's right here. I always remember what I draw or paint, and you can see I was choosing between two positions. So here, let me get it closer. Two positions right there. Tail up or tail down. I decided tail up was more interesting. So, I've always been able to redo whatever I take the time to learn and draw. I can just do the drawing from memory, as long as it hasn't been like years or something that have gone by, it sticks. And so drawing this last night was very helpful for me getting right to the main points of this for this video. I don't need to draw on the canvas, just drawing it to ingrain it in my mind is more helpful. That's it. Basic, same thing we're looking at. Great fun and informative. Cheers. All right. Thanks a lot, David, for being here again, all the way from Scotland. I think. Was that the one? Did I have the right one? Perfect positioning choice. Hey, thanks a lot. Oh, I was wondering to myself, you don't know till you put it in there. When will you stream next? Monday. We're going to do Monday each week. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. So this is the last one this week. And I'm going to add a lot more to this. We need to do bubbles. I want to do some cool lighting tricks. I want to put big colored, like I was thinking like big explosion of bubbles coming up, like it's coming out of some volcano or something with light in it. So that it's all this interesting light bouncing to show you how to do a lot of air underwater. It's air is more reflective from inside the water than water is from inside the air. So when we're in air looking at water, that's actually not as reflective as when we're in water looking at the air. Thanks for showing your painting magic. Hey, you're welcome. Thanks a lot, Space Cookie. What do you do with your, I lost that. What do you do with your paintings? I just store them. If you ever see anything you're really interested in, just let me know. But I just store them. I don't try to sell my paintings. I don't display them in galleries. Don't sell them. Most of the time they're unfinished. I'm more interested in this video. Making the video is just where my energy is. And so, things that I've moved on from, they just go in storage. See you Tuesday. All right. Monday will be the next one. LOL Monday has a comp. Oh yeah, sorry. But hey, it's publicly posted. You can watch it later. If you do a snow scene, have a Yeti creating an avalanche. That's a fun idea. You can look at the Beer Cave mural to see a big Yeti that I painted. If you look up on the Mural Joe channel, the Beer Cave, then you'll see that at a local gas station here. That was years ago. Lot that I've learned now that I would love to take back to those old murals, but it's still fun. How often do you stir or shake your paints? Just when it starts to dry out on top. Not often at all. What a great way for a child to grow up with her father having such imagination. Yeah, yeah, the kids, I I uh, I do like to spend a lot of time trying to be a kid myself. It's getting harder. It's getting harder. I'm getting older. All right. You have an amazing grasp for color. I would love to see some work where you just let the color work. Your space scene you did was an amazing display. Hey, thanks a lot, man. That is a very nice compliment. I appreciate that. Yes, well, uh, just letting the color do its thing, I'm a little bit of a control freak, but you just it's kind of tying together the colors. You can just blast a canvas with any colors, but there's things you can do to tie them together. So I'm not sure that there's like the perfect color combination, except that whatever colors you have, you just need appropriate connections for them, and you can just see what light does when it mixes and what's happening in nature for a good model. How can you draw the body position in such ease? I'm not good at body proportion. Uh, Quick answer: know the parts. Just know every part. And so then when you go, then of course there's hours involved of practicing. But if you practice for a long time not knowing parts, you're always drawing unfamiliar shapes. So if I am writing Arabic words, it's very hard for me to make any progress in learning that language. I don't know it. I can't speak it or write it. They're unfamiliar shapes. But if I am if I learn those letters first and memorize that alphabet, then when I go to draw, it'll be storing in my mind much more effectively. That's what I did. I learned all the parts, studied them, then drew them from pictures. Just drew looking in the mirror, looking at pictures, drew them from different angles. But I knew the part I was drawing every time I drew it. And so it sticks in my memory that way. Love how you did her body. All right, thanks. Thanks a lot. Did you paint the headband on the bear on your? It looks like it, doesn't it? Man, if anybody knows what in the world that could possibly mean, do tell. It's just a funny shirt. Just a silly shirt that my wife found over at Old Navy one day. Great composition. Thank you. Thank you for that. Practice, practice, practice. Yes, practice. I had a I had a martial arts instructor when I was a teenager. I'm not good at martial arts. I just took a class when I was younger. I had an instructor. Uh, he said, practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. We can't have perfect practice, but this is what I mean by knowing the parts. It is effective practice if you learn the parts. I know the parts of all the things I paint. I know the parts of the waves on the water, the parts of trees, the parts of crystal shape. Even for me, the way the colors separate are the parts. I got to have the parts. I got to have the separations of the colors, what each of them means in there. I paint portraits and animals, but I love how you create structural scale. All right, cool. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Playing around with tricks learned along the way, I guess. Okay, it's about time to shut it down. We are at 2 hours now. No, not quite 2 hours. 9. We started 9, 10. It's getting close. Ditto on the sent you an email. Okay. Lean foreshortening to learn foreshortening. I'm sorry, I said lean. Learn foreshortening too. Yes. You can learn foreshortening also though by drawing from life, drawing from models, and knowing what parts you're making, because then you see what the perspective is doing to them, and it's again sticks in your memory. I feel like the best way to learn something is just duplicating what you see, but understanding what you're duplicating is so important. Do you like Bob Ross? Yeah, so much. Amazing guy. I don't speak English. Well, thank you for watching. Where is the shark? Oh, we did that once. I did an old Mural Joe Live where we did a shark and a mermaid. We're not doing a shark in this one. I want it to just feel really happy. Sharks are happy. These pictures, I was looking at these pictures of some people doing free diving right up on sharks, like, so right on them, like you give them a kiss on the nose. Big old suckers with scary teeth. Sharks were all nice like puppy dogs to them. I wouldn't do it though. So maybe it could, my point is that maybe it could be a happy painting with shark if I just made a nice shark, you know, like in the movie. Will you be our guest for dinner? What it was that in Finding Nemo, the big friendly shark. We're having fish tonight. Do you like Bill Alexander? I'm going to have to look that one up. I don't keep up with a lot of names. I don't know much about art history. Don't know much about history. Sounds like that song. I really don't. Or current. I didn't mean to say that's history, but I don't know that or current artists. I know hardly anything. The only thing I really have my head wrapped around is research. I'm just constantly thinking, looking, observing, trying to learn because that's just what my mind does. And I've just decided to go down that road because it's what I do best. I lied about the shark. Okay. Sharks are not scary. Little shark. Sharks can be cuties. All right. All right. Well, think about what else to put in there. Maybe a dolphin. Maybe a dolphin would be better. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to see you again on Monday. Really appreciate you hanging out, letting me show off. And so we'll be brainstorming good ideas to put in there on Monday. In the meantime, this one was gray. We started with gray on this one so that all of these darker colors would cover real good. You give so much many. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, David. Yes, dolphin. Thumbs up. Or tropical fid. What's tropical fid? Is that supposed to be fish or is fid something? Tropical fish, I think, which is what maybe you mean to say. Would like to see a turtle. Oh, turtle would be cool. That'd be neat. You're the best. Keep painting, Joe. All right, thank you. Thank you, Susan. Do you like painting more than sketching? Yeah, I do. I grew up drawing pictures and being able to add color to the knowledge of drawing. It just feels like the next level of bringing imagination to life. But I do love sketching. Fast results when you're sketching, I love that. Flock of seahorses. Are they even in flocks? Good night. Bye, Joe. Good night. Good night. Thank you for being here. Locksme. Hi from Oaxaca, Mexico. Oh, Oaxaca. Oaxaca, Mexico. Cool. Thank you for being here. Sais, Yeska, Sais, I think. Hey, thanks a lot for watching. Diver Dan, teach us sketching, Joe, please. Hey, I'm working on it. I'm working on drawing videos. As it turns out, it's pretty hard. Do I need to add liquid white on my canvas before starting the actual painting? No, I just painted it gray. I don't think you need to add anything other than just get the canvas sealed with paint, let it dry. Just as long as it's dry, you're good to go. One little crab. All right. We got to end this stream. I always get sucked into I love chatting. It's so fun. I get sucked in and then I can't go. You're growing every day, Joe. Oh, it sounds like my mom and dad. I think I stopped years ago. Greetings from Ireland. All right, cool. Thanks a lot. All right. We'll see you guys later. I'm hitting the end stream button right there, making it official. We'll see you next.